The Living Prairie Museum is a local ecological preserve and interpretive center. So we have an interpretive center here where you can come and look at exhibits that relate to the prairie, but the main feature is the living habitat outside our doors. So we have remnant prairie here at this site, and that's a type of prairie that's never been plowed up. So this is intact since the last ice age and a representation of the type of habitat that we used to have throughout much of southern Manitoba. Remnant prairie is very rare at this point. There's about less than 1% remaining across North America because much of it was changed into agricultural land in cities and towns and developed after Europeans arrived. Essentially, it's an endangered type of habitat that we want to keep around. Prairie is very important because it's full of interconnected species, and we're part of that interconnected network of living things. So in the prairie, you have, plants and insects and animals that are all relying on one another to survive, especially in this urban environment where there isn't a lot of habitat to use for those, types of things you need for survival. The prairie is home to traditional medicinal plants, traditional food plants. It's an area where we have lots of pollinators that, pollinate the ecosystem, but also the gardens that we have around the city. It's a place for migratory birds, it's a place for mammals, and it's also a very important habitat for sequestering carbon. So it has a lot to provide to us and the wildlife as well. So if you visit our museum, we have hiking trails available, and we have interpretive guides that you can take with you to follow along so that you learn a little bit about the site while you're out there. And you can also visit our interpretive center. So in here we have exhibits that help you learn about the prairie and the local nature that we have in Winnipeg and in Manitoba. Exhibits include our bison artifact display. All of the pieces that we have here are replicas created by Indigenous crafters to represent the types of tools that Indigenous people would have used in the landscape from bison parts. We also have displays that focus on pollinators, so different types of insects and different types of wildflowers. And then there's things for kids to do too, lots of hands-on activities, guessing prairie artifacts, feeling furs, and the Prairie at Night exhibit that shows what the prairie looks like at dawn and dusk. We also have an observation deck so you can see the prairie from up high. And we have a bookstore that's been curated to have a lot of titles related to prairie restoration, habitat, diversifying your yard, gardening, field guides, lots of things that are pertinent to Manitoba. We have a lot of different visitors from different places, so certainly from within Winnipeg, but we also attract tourists from across the world. And it's really fascinating to see people coming from Germany or Australia just to see the prairie. And we always find that it opens people's eyes to just how diverse this type of habitat is and how unique it is. A lot of people think of, endangered and diverse habitats as being rainforests or something large that you can really see, but our type of habitat is almost like by the square meter. So the closer you look, the more amazing it is and the more, special it is to people once they see it. Sometimes there's some confusion when people hear the word prairie and they start to think about agricultural fields and combines and wheat, but prairie also includes natural ecosystems, natural grasslands filled with different types of living things. So I think when people come here, they start to understand that distinction a little bit more. If you'd like to visit us, admission is free. So you can find Living Prairie on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also visit our website. It's winnipeg.ca/livingprairie to see our seasonal hours, and the interpretive center is also available by appointment for education programs. And the trails are available from dawn until dusk daily all year round.